Do you get that excited every morning to get up and go to work? Good morning, I'm off to work. I'm motivated, I'm going to have a fantastic time. Raise your hand if you do. Don't raise your hand if you don't. Okay. Today, we're going to talk a little bit in the small time I have with you about leadership and innovation in education. Leadership. Leadership. It's a culture. It's a gift. Leadership is a gift. It's an amazing gift to have. To serve others, to help them go from where they are to where they want to be is incredible. It's an amazing time. It's an amazing thing to be able to do. I'm sure you've all seen leaders. You've worked with leaders, and you're leaders yourself maybe. How many of you in the audience are students? How many of you are teachers? How many of you are leaders? Now, every hand should have gone up. So that was a good practice. How many of you are leaders? That's better. You are all leaders. You all have the potential to lead. You have the potential to do amazing things, to change, to facilitate change, to innovate, to inspire, to talk really loudly on a stage. You all have that opportunity. With that in mind, you've all worked with different people. A few photos here. I want you to think about if any of these photos, you've worked with any of these sort of people, or you've known some of these sort of people. Here's the first one. Oh, that nice, all holding hands. That's the second one. Third one. I'll give you a hand. That's the excellent one. Hey, it's all paid. Yeah, I'm fighting. I'm happy to be. I'm a leader. Can't you see from the folds on my shoes that I'm a leader? Okay. If any of those traits that you saw in those photographs resonate with you, and I'm sure some of them do, I want you to think about something. Superheroes and villains. I want you to take 30 seconds to think about a leader that really inspired you. Could it be a parent, student, a boss, anybody? Just somebody that really inspired you, and I want you to think why they inspired you. Take 30 seconds, think about it, and go. Okay, all right, stop. I'm sure someone popped into your head. Put that there. Now, think of another person that perhaps disappointed you a bit in leadership. They were leading in some way and perhaps they disappointed you. Could be for any reason. Think about that person and go. Got someone? Okay, stop. So you have someone here who was positive. Someone here who perhaps was a bit disappointing. Now think about yourself as a leader. Think about what kind of leader you are, what kind of leader you'd like to be, and how you might like to get there. Because I'm going to share some tools with you today, which hopefully you can take away with you. Just back to that question. Would you work for you?
When I go around to a lot of companies, I run into everyone's likes to get up and bitch about their boss. When I do this thing, places, my boss is a jackass. My boss doesn't do this. My boss is holding me back. My boss is doing this. I always ask him one thing. Go look in the mirror. Would you like to work for you? No, that's a great question. Everyone here should ask yourself. Yeah. Would you like to work for you? All the idiosyncrasies you have, all the things you do you want to work for you? If not, what do you want to change about you? Then go change it so that you can be the boss that you want to be. But don't bitch about the other one. First find out if you're the right boss. stops them cold. Because you got to look at yourself and evaluate yourself before you start bitching about the other boss.
Who's going to argue with Jack Welch, one of the most successful CEOs in the world? Oftentimes, the person that we coined the 80-20 rule. In many of Jack's writings, when he was CEO of General Electric and other companies, he aimed to get out of the office 80% of the time, to spend it with people, and to nurture people, to nurture leaders. Ideally, the other 20%, there's stuff to do. There's stuff to do. So today, just to think about that in relation to our schools we might be involved with, our universities, our companies. And that is, if you are living your leadership values and you're motivated to do what you can to inspire others to get results, then as a leader, yes, you're going to be influential, you're going to be inspiring to others and to yourselves. Because if you're leading from here and here, but not just from here, you're putting yourself you're opening yourself right up. You're putting yourself in your values into developing a leadership culture in your school. I say leadership culture because teachers as leaders, teachers as coaches, why not? A lot of the original leadership models out there, you know, hierarchical leadership and directorial leadership, there's a whole range of them, similar to some of the photos I showed you earlier. But how are you going to encourage people to try leadership, to aspire to be a leader, without starting that culture from the leadership of the school? You're not going to get buy-in, are you? Oh, they want a leadership culture. Oh, yeah, okay, it's just a job. When leadership becomes a job, it's time to think about are you in the right job, or alternatively, what can you do to change the thinking? Think about these things. We want to encourage our leaders to be courageous enough to do the best work. Encourage your faculty to do stuff, step up, empower them, give them opportunities. You are a math teacher. I didn't know you were also a violinist. I didn't know you were also an artist. I didn't know you were also this. Well, it's your job to find that out and encourage people and their skill sets to make your environment or your team, your school, your college, your company an amazing place to inspire their leadership, to lead change, to innovate, and for you to lead change, for you to be inspired. It's not about the other person. It's interesting. Good. Our motivational drivers are hooked to our leadership, and our motivational drivers are hooked to our values. For example, there's extrinsic and intrinsic motivators. We've heard them all before. The three top extrinsic motivators I would like to put out to you is one, as Daniel Pink says, the carrot and stick. What's in it for me? What rewards do I get out of being a leader? Because that's why I'm a leader. Second one, I'm entitled to be a leader because I've done the work, I've done the degrees, I've done this, I've done that, I've been here the longest, I've worked for the company for the longest, I'm a guy, you're a girl, and so it goes on. That's my entitlement. My entitlement is to be a leader. Whatever. And the third one, the third most one, is significance. Now, Maslow's hierarchy of needs tells us that one of human beings' most biggest things is that they want to feel significant in our hierarchy of needs. We want to be significant. So that might be a third one. There's probably a lot more you could think about. I'd like you to think of intrinsic, because intrinsic motivators is where the inspiration, where the innovation, where the change is going to come from. Here's a few of them. You've probably seen them before. Empowerment. Actually encouraging people to step up, try something, take risks, do this, give that a go. Try it out. Which comes with trust. How many of you have heard leadership and trust in the same sentence? A lot of you, I'm sure. Autonomy. Give me the opportunity to try stuff. It's like empowerment. I want to do things. I want to have control over what I'm doing to a certain degree. I'm not working for the company or for the school and I've got this job to do. And of course I'll do that job. But give me the opportunity to also become autonomous and try new things, try new ideas, a bit like the skill example I said earlier. What else can you do besides teach math or teach music or whatever it is? Mastery, huge intrinsic motivator. People perhaps didn't think about this years ago. People, by their nature, want to be good at what they do. They want to be given time for professional development. They want to be given time to be able to work on their craft. That's a huge motivator. No PD in my company, you just run the line. All right? Labeling me, I do this. No encouragement. And all of that, of course, is focused on purpose. There's got to be a why. Why I'm doing. And if you can't understand why you're doing what you're doing, or if your people you work with don't understand why they're doing what they're doing, then how is it going to be a fun place, an innovative place, if there's no purpose on it? Pink takes these ones, of course, as I said before. He takes 4 of those, 3 of those ones. Autonomy, mastery, autonomy plus mastery, and purpose, motivation. He's done a lot of research. A lot of people have done research. Daniel Pink's research has been the one that's been most talked about recently. And you can see in the boxes there what he means by autonomy, mastery and purpose. You know, no micromanaging, opportunity to try something new, to take a risk, to step up, to try something different. I like to put to you that it is also hooked to values. Your intrinsic motivational drivers are hooked to your values. Remember this I said before? If you are running your values, you are going to be happier. Yeah? You're going to be more motivated to get results because they're based around your values, which serve as your motivators. And I'll stop before I fall off the stage. But you get where I'm going with this. If you're working your values, you're not just doing a job. I heard job once just means just over broke. It's something you do because you do it. But there's no ownership necessarily for it. Because you're not working your values. I like to be autonomous. I like to take a risk. I'd like to try something different. Yes, I teach grade 6 math, but I really want to be an assistant principal. That's fine. Can I please go on a course to learn about leadership? Oh, no. Because you're a maths teacher. Bang. Where's that encouragement come from? But I'm an aspiring leader. I want to try this. I want to be able to go and learn about becoming a leader. We're in a inspirational and innovative a leadership culture, aren't we? So can I please have some time to go into this non-grade 6 classroom teaching necessarily conference to develop my leadership skills? Now in the model I'm putting to you today, oh yeah, that'd be great. Give us the information, let's have a look at it, we'll look at the budget. At least that's not saying no, that's saying, oh yeah, we'll think about it. Values. That person, if that person doesn't even get to go, at least if you've heard them, spoken to them, heard what they want to say, you now know that that person is an aspiring leader. They'll be fine, they'll be motivated, they'll try again next time. But you don't shut them down because it's not their job. Living your values is linked to your motivation mindset. Quick story, very quick story. I was running a 2-day aspiring leaders workshop. A lot of participants, great day, great dynamics, great people I was working with. They were different leaders, assistant principals, business managers, heads of school, whoever. They were from all over the place, all over the world. And toward the end of the second day of this 2-day workshop, a gentleman came up to me at break. He looked a bit pale and he was a little bit red in the eyes, and I thought, oh, what have I done? What have I done to this guy? And actually he said, Craig, I just want to say thank you. Great. I didn't want to drag it out of him, but I said, oh, can I ask, it's been my pleasure, it's been my honour to serve you these last 2 days. What did you want? What is it particularly that you feel that you've gained from this? He said, I've learned a lot more about myself. I said, wow. And then I gave him a license to talk to me, and he opened up and he told me his story. He was an international educator like me. He travelled around the world. He wanted to be a secondary school principal. That's what he wanted. And he had a family, and he was willing to do whatever he could do because he had to get to that secondary principal position. He worked in this country. He worked in that country. He did the head of department here, head of department there, head of grade, head of pastoral, head of this, head of that. He thought that was part of the apprenticeship to becoming a principal. He spent a lot of money, took a lot of time away from his family by doing 2 master's degrees in leadership because he thought that's what he had to do. Because he hadn't been in a leadership culture in his school. It was just you get the documents, you get the training, you might get a job. So he finally got a position as a secondary school principal. Good on him. But he said, after all, he was going fine, he was enjoying it, but then after a while, after the honeymoon period was over, I've got the job, yes, I've made it, I've got the $1 million, but I'm not really happy. He said that he wasn't happy and he couldn't work out why. But as a result of some exercises we were doing that weekend on learning a lot of self-discovery, he said, I've worked it out. And it was to do with values. He said he's worked out that he wasn't that happy at secondary principal because he loves working with younger children and older children. And as a secondary principal, he's divisional. He's got to work with that lot. And he might only have a chance to work with them if he creates time as a coach or something. So we talked a bit more. We got a lot of information, help him, and he's actually a coaching client of mine, and still is right now. But he actually decided to resign. That wasn't my fault. He decided to resign at the end of that year. Anyway, he got a job as an activities director, a whole school activities director. He is as happy could be. He's working across all age groups of students. He's getting to do his admin, his management, his leadership, his teaching, but he's working across whole school and he's very, very happy. That's a very simple example of living your values to give you your motivation. There it is. Values, motivation, connection. If you're living your values, you're motivated. When you're motivated, you're happy. We like happy teachers. We like happy people in our companies. And we get results because we're happy. And then we get more motivated because we get results. Then we live our values again, and so it goes, and so it goes. Very, very, very simple. There it is there, putting all of those things together in a bit more of an outline. So you've got your autonomy, plus your trust, plus your empowerment, plus your energy for wanting to learn more. You're getting results, and it continues. All based on the values, motivation model. This formula, if you take anything away today, D plus A equals R. I'm not a math teacher. But decisive, make decisions, make change, step up, innovate, take action. This is often the bit that doesn't happen. And you'll get results, whether it be to create a culture in your school, whether it be for your own personal development. So it's not about the leader, it's about the people. Leaders who start with the why and the how have the ability to inspire and are intrinsically motivated to do so. No reward at the end. If there is, it's a bonus, but it's not an incentive. If you inspire others to dream, you're going to be a huge leader. You can't lead life that's truly excellent without feeling that you belong to something greater. Great quote from the book Flow. Very simple quote, makes a lot of sense. You establish the vision for your school, for your classroom, for your company, for your team, for yourself. If you are visionary, innovative, in education, you inspire change. How's that the one sentence? I inspire change. I know I just make the change. Someone else inspires it. Yeah, well, be the inspirer. Be the person that's the innovator, that steps up and takes the risk and is empowering themselves to empower others. You be the one to take everything in the right direction. Someone's got to start. I want a leadership culture in my school, but I don't want to do it. Oh, okay. I'm happy to be in the leadership culture, but I don't want to do it. Okay, take risks, step up, enjoy life and try things out, and you'll pump. You'll absolutely have a great time doing it. We innovate. We motivate to inspire and to lead. I'll leave you with one thought to question. A lot of what I've talked about today is about people, just about people, a lot of it. and how you can take them on a journey of self-discovery, how you can inspire a leadership culture in your school, some ideas you can take back looking at the values motivation bit, doing a few activities with your department that I did at the start today. Pick a leader, pick one that was good, pick one that wasn't. You heard what I did earlier. One big difference, which I'll put out there as a cryptic thing to take away. Leadership, inspirational leadership, innovative leadership, education leadership, just leadership is not management. It's different. And maybe a topic for another day. Thank you very much.